Hey there, and welcome back to Mutant Year Zero. My name is Pete, and today we complete the first episode of the Mutant Year Zero Seed of Evil DLC. Over the course of the previous 14 episodes, which you can find linked as a playlist on screen and down below, we accompanied our fellow mutant stalkers Dux, Borman, Selma, Magnus and Pharaoh on their journey from their home in the Ark through the zone and in the search of the mysterious Eden. And not only did we eventually find the place, no, we also learned that our protagonists owe their very existence to dubious gene modification experiments conducted by none other than the leader of the Ark himself, the Elder. And the base game actually ended with that revelation and with quite a few more questions that we can hopefully find answers to in the next few episodes as we complete the Seed of Evil DLC. Speaking of which, the premise for this one will of course once again be full completion, so we will aim to unlock all additional achievements that were added by the DLC, and we will also continue to play on very hard, the game's hardest difficulty setting, and with Iron Mutant mode turned on, so there will be no saving and reloading if we make mistakes. All in all, if you have watched the previous 14 episodes on the base game, which again I highly recommend you do before jumping into this one, then you should know what to expect. In any case, I think that's about all that needs to be said at this point, so let's dive back in and see how the story of Mutant Year Zero continues.
One, we rescued Hammond. Two, we kicked the bad guys' asses. Why are we freezing our butts off chasing some old loony? We should be back at the Ark getting a little hero treatment.
Our victory parade will have to wait. Let's fetch him back before he gets himself killed out there.
The truth? That we're all his science projects? Nah, thanks. Let him run. We don't need him.
Tell that to the Ark. It's chaos back there. We'll drag the Elder back, force him to make things right.
And keep taking his orders? You're all grown up and able to think for yourself, aren't you?
Enough chit-chat. Let's go find the Elder.
Mind if I grab a little scrap on this manhunt? You know, for the Ark. For an ancient dude hooked up to blood bags, the Elder sure can move. Something's weird here.
It's the zone. Everything's weird here. Just keep your eyes open and...
Mouth shut. Yeah, seriously, I get it. Please stop saying that.
Alright, so we have found our first enemy, but before we engage here, we need to give Dux some proper weapons. His ancient pistol, as well as the GJR sniper rifle, are currently both still on Selma, so let's take those off of her, put them on Dux, and then we can engage. Now, our first enemy here is a pod burner, a type of enemy that we have not yet seen. But between Dux, Pharaoh and Borman, we can do enough damage silently for this one to not be a problem.
I'm the hero, you're the zero.
You did it, kid.
Get over here.
Okay, so first enemy down and we keep collecting. The map here is actually quite large, so we will be moving in a zigzag pattern from east to west, so that we don't miss any of the objects of interest scattered all over the place, including a very important artifact over here. And as you can see, artifacts still seem to work the same, and can be used to purchase upgrades back in the Ark.
I heard of these special grenades. You just need to bypass the color-coded safety system first.
In the next building, which actually has a second floor but one without any loot, we can then find a note that shows a brief text message conversation between Daniel and his mother, who is scolding him for forgetting to bring his grandmother's suitcase and instead focusing more on a whale penis lamp. This conversation, of course, also very likely occurred before the place went to hell, back when the houses were still standing and humans were living here.
Say my name, Jizwipe. It's Pharaoh. What do you think about that?
Now, as our journey continues, we are running into another pod burner, but just like the one before, this one will be easily taken out.
Bye-bye.
Stone cold.
At this point, we also earn a level up, which we will spend in just a moment. For now, we have to get a bit more strategic against the pod jumper up ahead, because against their 26 hit points, we need to land at least 2 silent critical hits to finish the job. To get those, we need to open the fight with Dux here, which very importantly keeps Pharaoh hidden. Shot number 2 can then go to Borman. He does not need to crit though.
What you got?
While Pharaoh is still undetected and therefore guaranteed a critical hit.
Give up now and I'll go easy on ya.
I hated that asshole.
Alright, 3 kills in the books. Time to look at some mutations now, as the Seed of Evil DLC introduces a few changes. Nothing crazy, but as you can see, we now have the option to further upgrade some already unlocked mutations, which of course makes them even more powerful. Each upgrade costs 3 points, so with Pharaoh we can only do 1 at the moment, and that will be to turn Moth Wings into Wings of the Sniper. This is extremely powerful as it removes any range penalty whenever she's flying, especially since she is using the rather low-range PC-98 shotgun. Now with Dux we have plenty of points to spend, which we can first use to turn Chameleon into Stalking Death, allowing him to not only turn invisible until he attacks, but to actually stay invisible as long as the attacks result in kills. And while we're at it, we might as well also upgrade his Moth Wings right away too. That brings us to Borman, whose Hog Rush will now be improved to Bear Smash, increasing the ability's damage output and also adding a 5-tile knockback, which, as you can imagine, can be used quite creatively. The upgrade from Corpse Eater to Corpse Feaster is then rather straightforward. All that this does is basically make the ability free to use, as it now no longer consumes an action. And with that, let's set things up for the next fight here. With Borman, we want to be able to use Stone Skin and Joker, while Pharaoh is just fine with Wings of the Sniper, Gunslinger and Silent Assassin. Dux meanwhile switches over to Knee Shot to also accompany Wings of the Sniper and Silent Assassin, and with that we are ready for the next fight, but first let's collect a few more bits and pieces. Considering the size of the map, there is actually not that much available here. In this house here, however, we have to go 1 level higher for 1 pile of rare scrap.
Don't mind if I do. Can always use some scrap. For the arc, like.
Right, and with that we are now getting ready for the next fight against another pod jumper as well as a pod tank. Along the way we can also collect a medkit, then make sure that Dux and Pharaoh go into hiding, and finally move up with Borman to start the encounter. Now first things first, we want to use Dux's GJR sniper rifle to get a knee shot on the tank. From his current position he does not have a guaranteed hit though, so we need to use his Wings of the Sniper mutation to get airborne. Right, so with that, the tank can now no longer move on its turn, which brings us to Borman, who now needs to become invulnerable by using Stone Skin. And following that, we also want to use his Joker mutation to draw the enemy's attention.
Frickin' Zero, come at me.
I have no use for
I'm gonna make
Join me before it's too late.
And finally, we do still have a shot with him that we can use against the jumper. So that means it is now Pharaoh's turn, who can also use Wings of the Sniper, and since that mutation now eliminates any aim penalty, we do have 2 guaranteed hits with the PC-98 here, even though Pharaoh is quite far away from the targets.
Say my name. You don't know who you're messing with.
Now that was a kill.
You friggin' gimp!
Now, with the tank unable to move, the only action it can take is a shot against Borman, but thanks to Stone Skin that has little effect.
I'm the hero, you're the zero.
You did it, kid.
Let's go.
Right, so we have earned another level, but that is not actually why we are accessing the menu here. No, we are doing that because we want to switch Dux out for Selma now. So all of his weapons now go back to her, and she also receives the Grenadier's Delight helmet, just for a bit more bang on those frag grenades. Ability-wise, we want to go with Tree Hugger. The other two are basically irrelevant at this point, and Bormin is actually in a very similar situation. The only thing that counts for the rest of the mission is that we give him his Bear Smash. Now, with all of that set up, we can continue our tour, and we are now going back in roughly the direction that we came from. Again, the map here is quite large and can at times be confusing, but we want to make sure not to miss a single thing.
Nice bit of scrap. That should come in handy back at the Ark.
By the way, starting with this mission, we actually also want to keep count of how much scrap we collect, as the Seed of Evil DLC introduced an achievement for collecting 600 units. And as far as I know, the counter for that starts at the beginning of this mission here, so unfortunately it does not matter that we finished the base game with over 1000 units still in our inventory. Now, at this point, we should perhaps also talk a bit about the enemies that we are facing, whose names and looks alone already suggest a slightly plant-based theme, which in combination with the name Seed of Evil, of course, makes a lot of sense. It is therefore also not really surprising that our next enemies here are a pack of pod wolves, accompanied by a lone pod burner. Now, we want to take out all 4 of them in one go, but for that we have to be a bit patient. So with Bormin, Pharaoh and Salma in position, we can now simply hang tight and wait until the wolves are close together and one of them is also not too far away from the burner. Right, and this looks like it will work, so let's begin with Salma's Tree Hugger, which we can use to root all 3 wolves in place. Lovely, that means all melee units in this fight can now no longer move, so let's follow things up with a grenade here, making sure to also hit the burner. Moving on, it is now time for Bormin and the increased damage output from Bear Smash to already take out the burner.
Aha! That's how it's done!
And then we can also fire a shot to finish his turn. Finally then, we are once again using Pharaoh's Wings of the Sniper Gunslinger combination, which is only available because we just killed that burner, as both of those mutations have a 3-kill cooldown. And again, no range penalty, and she is still hidden, resulting in 3 guaranteed critical hits.
Say my name. I am the beautiful. Say my name, Jizwipe. Too easy.
You got it.
With the remaining 2 wolves then stuck to the ground, the enemy turn passes by fairly uneventful, and that will actually continue for 1 more turn, should we need it. So plenty of time to take care of the wolves, we are absolutely not in any hurry whatsoever.
Not today, Dickwipe!
Stay down.
And there we are, 1 last turn here, 8 more hit points need to go, and that should not be a problem at all.
You don't know who you're messing with.
Nailed it.
Now this gives us another level up that we want to use immediately. First of all, to unlock Iron Legs for Pharaoh, upgrading her frog legs with the ability to jump through covers and land on enemies. Much more important for this mission though is upgrading Salma's Tree Hugger to Tree Caster, which now not only disables enemy movement, but actually prevents enemies from taking any actions whatsoever for its entire duration. And yes, that is as powerful as it sounds, but also related to an achievement that we will unlock here very soon.
Hey, follow me. Elder or no elder, the Ark still needs scrap. Let's see what's inside.
Alright, we have found our very first chest of the episode, this one containing the Grog Helm, And with 4 tiles of extra movement and critical hit immunity, this one is actually a straight upgrade over Bormin's currently worn Borg band, so in my opinion it only makes sense to make that switch. I think it actually would be kind of stupid not to. Now, very importantly, we also just collected a garage key, which is actually one of the main reasons why we have been traversing this map from east to west and now back east again. Doing it this way ensures that we can collect all the available loot here in a fairly efficient manner without any sort of backtracking, because of course that key opens something, and it is on this very map right here. Before we get to that, however, we are making a discovery here that is arguably much more important.
That's the Elder, standing next to that mimer machine.
Looks like a ghoul party. And he's a cake.
Let's sneak in and say hi.
Well, actually, we are not going to do that just yet, but we are doing some sneaking to quickly take out another lone patrolling pod burner.
I'm the hero, you're the zero. Come get some!
And making this kill right here and now is actually fairly important, otherwise this guy might become a problem in just a few moments.
That all you got?
Don't mess with me.
Over here.
Alright, and with that we have now made it to level 80, but we are not ready to approach the Elder just yet. Instead, we will now unlock our very first achievement of the episode by using that key we obtained earlier to gain access to the garage over here, and of course, to subsequently clear it out.
Come on, let it be something good.
Alright, we have found a new weapon, and one with a pretty high damage output. At the moment though, it still ranks behind what we currently have equipped, but that might change quickly with a few upgrades. At this point, by the way, we are fast approaching the completion of this map. The entire southeastern part here is actually devoid of any loot whatsoever, so we can simply leave that be and instead sneak up on that group of enemies surrounding the Elder. And for this one, we will actually split our group, as you can see in just a second.
Your pain, your anger, your fear, all of it will melt away, old man. Join us.
This old man doesn't listen to the lies of ghouls. Step closer so I can tear your tongue out.
Join us, or die.
Right, so we might have a bone to pick with the Elder, but if anyone does some killing here, it's us. So now that we have everyone in position, let's attack, starting with Bormin and a strategic use of Bear Smash. To follow things up, we can also take a shot with Bormin, and we can take our free pick of targets here. To be perfectly honest though, we could also just end this turn now and still be able to clean this up. Right, time to unlock another achievement, specifically the one we unlock for trapping at least 3 enemies with Selma's Treecaster. Thanks to Bormin's well-aimed Bear Smash, however, we can actually get all 4 of them, in a move that is completely irrelevant to the outcome of this fight, but an easy way to unlock the Repurposer achievement.
Do you know who I am? I am Jericho!
Up next, Selma can now also use a grenade, once again against all 4 enemies. That now reduces our enemy numbers down to 3, which is necessary for another gunslinger from Pharaoh here, as the PCR unfortunately only has 3 rounds of ammo and can therefore also only target 3 enemies.
I am the... You don't know who you're... Give up now and I'll go easy on you. On me.
And there we are, threat removed and a level gained. Time to confront the Elder now and to unlock yet another achievement.
My brave stalkers, you shouldn't be out here.
Save the bullshit, old man. You couldn't walk last time we saw you, and now you're trekking out into the zone alone. We caught you, and we know what you did.
Did this truth set you free, hmm? erase your worries? No. It plagues your brains with questions you don't want answered. I told you not to go to Eden. You have no idea the events you set into motion. I must go now. Buy the Ark more time. Before it's too late.
Enough with the lies. You're gonna step away from the damn machine with your hands up and tell us what the hell is going on. We didn't see the Elder flick the switch. The steel door shuts him in the machine. Blue fire pummels the ground, blows me and Duck's back. We rise from the dirt and look up. The machine screams up across the dirty sky. Scream fades to a distant rumble. The machine is gone, and the Elder's in space. Me and Duck stare at the sky. We don't say a word. The Elder left us behind. He abandoned his people. Screw that liar. He told us the Ark was the last settlement surrounded by an endless wasteland, the Zone. But I've seen things in the Zone you wouldn't believe. Machine Men, a cult of psychotic brain mongers, a fox assassin. The Elder said Eden was a fairy tale. But we marched through its gates, discovered we were created there, discovered he was our creator. He betrayed us. He can suck it. Despite his lies, the Ark remains our home, and we risk our necks to protect it. We're stalkers. We explore the Zone, scavenge for precious resources, keep the ghouls at bay. Soldiers with lifetimes of taking orders. Now, who's gonna give them? The Elder said you did this to us. The Elder said the fruits of the wasteland were planted years ago by the seeds of your evil. Was he lying? When the ice melted, did you say something? When the plague spread, did you do something? Send me a message. Tell me I'm keeping humanity alive for a reason.
Oh, that's just brilliant. So what now? Are we seriously going to tell the Ark that their beloved leader just flew up into space? On second thoughts, let's just say those ghouls bashed him.
I don't think those were ghouls. They were... I don't know. Something's weird here.
They were just ghouls. Maybe the rot had gotten into them and made them manky. Who cares? Let's get back to the Ark. There's somebody, or rather, something, hanging around by the elevator. What are those creatures?
The flesh in the Ark will feed me for years. Make me grow. No. The Ark like being outcasts. They will not join. They will fight, then kill the fighters, cleanse the rest, spit spot.
Alright, so a few things have happened here. Most notably, the Elder has apparently flown off into space. And since we can hardly follow, we are now doing the next best thing, and that would be to return to the Ark. However, as you can see, the area looks a little different than the last time we were here, and it is also once again crawling with enemies. Now the first pod router melee unit here is quickly dispatched off, and we can once again level up now. As a matter of fact, at least in Selma's case, it is absolutely crucial that we do that, because we need her upgraded to iron legs for the very next fight. While we're at it though, we can also complete the mutation tree for Pharaoh. Her Corpse Eater now also gets upgraded to Corpse Feaster, and with that we are done, at least when it comes to upgrades. For the next section, we do want to make a few more changes though, beginning with equipping Twitch Shot on Bormin, then once again leaving Pharaoh just as she is, and changing Selma's mutation loadout to Iron Legs, Twitch Shot and Alpinist.
Follow me.
Now, with that, we can keep going and collect the ancient site that the pod router dropped. Should we eventually make it back to the Ark, we might find a good use for this. Now at this point we can split the party. Selma can stay right where she is, while Bormin and Pharaoh loop around to the other side of the building, taking note of the fact that we have an enemy on the rooftop here who should likely be taken out next. And in order to do that, we will now use those iron legs with Selma to jump directly on top of the enemy. This knocks the enemy back and down onto the ground, while Selma actually remains hidden, allowing for a guaranteed critical hit from above. Another guaranteed critical then comes from Pharaoh, who is hiding just around the corner here.
Go get some!
And with only 2 hit points left, Bormin does not have that difficult of a task ahead of him.
Enough!
Over here.
So that means the rooftop is cleared now, which gives us a huge tactical advantage against the next 2 enemies, the first one being the other pod jumper down on the ground here, who we can now very carefully sneak up on from above. Thankfully, there is also some cover available up here, so sneak attacks will be guaranteed. The first shot then goes to Bormin. Following that is Pharaoh with a guaranteed critical.
Give up now and I'll go easy on ya. Gotcha!
And finally, Selma can crit for the kill.
Bang!
You finally figured out how to use that thing?
Now at this point we have no time to waste and quickly want to get over to the other side of the roof here to get the drop on a patrolling tank who is just arriving below us. And this time we can actually go loud, as there are no other enemies anywhere near here.
Say my name, Jizwipe. It's Pharaoh. What do you think about that?
So, 1 crit with Pharaoh down, another one with Selma is now coming up.
Back off!
And because the critical hit with Bormin is unfortunately not guaranteed, we have to go with Twitch Shot, which then ensures that we get the kill on this turn.
Take a break.
On me.
So, that is the bulk of the enemies defeated, but our path to the Ark is unfortunately not quite clear just yet. The enemies that still remain, however, do not pose any kind of threat to us at this point, as they can all be isolated and taken out one after the other. The best example is the pod burner here, who is currently moving towards us, and who we should be able to take out in just a few seconds.
Figured out how to use that thing?
On me.
Now, one more interesting thing about this map is not only does it look a bit more rooted than before, no, there is actually also some new loot available on top of the stuff that our enemies drop. So even though we have technically already cleared out the Ark outskirts at the very beginning of this series, a second proper tour is now necessary to grab everything. That includes this note over here with a few spicy rumors, among others the mention of a so-called Wraith up at the Sea Titans, a map that we have already explored once, but it looks like we might want to pay another visit. It also says here that Prip is apparently the new Ark boss, which is interesting to say the least, considering he was previously the bartender. But I guess we'll have to reserve judgment until we actually make it up to the Ark ourselves, and we are getting closer and closer to that moment. But first, let's collect a few more bits of scrap and then engage another isolated pod burner.
That's from me!
And I don't think I have to say much here, 3 shots will be enough as long as they're silent.
Bullseye!
Move out.
And there we go, we have now gained 8 levels since the beginning of the episode, and we do have one last enemy coming up. And since this is the last enemy, we can actually go loud here, that way we don't need to rely on critical hits. And one last hit point now stands between us and the Ark. Let's have Bormin be the one to change that.
I'm Bormin, bitch.
Follow me. Elder Almighty, you seeing what I'm seeing? Big tentacles curling up the Ark's support beams.
Hold up a sec. Those aren't tentacles, my friend. They're giant plants.
Alright, and it looks like the seed of evil may have spread all the way up to the Ark. Time to get up there ourselves and see what's going on.
Not even 30 seconds in the Ark and me and Dux want to hop back out of it. Our home is under siege. Thick red vines are growing fast, turning the place into a blood-red jungle. We see dwellers hacking their friends out of vine cages. We hear screams about the end of the world. We greet friends, but they shuffle by us with lifeless eyes, not recognizing us. The Elder could tell us how to beat this, but he's gone now. And without him, the Ark's gone crazy. If things ain't strange enough, the Dwellers made Prip the new Elder. When you put a bartender in charge, you're in trouble. Prip figured out the source of these vines. A man, Goran. He's a mutant with the power to control plants. Like Selma, but more powerful, more reckless. Once, Goran got into an argument with the Elder and attacked him. We threw Goran out of the Ark. He vanished into the zone, vowing revenge on us for spurning him. Now it seems his revenge has kicked into high gear. Prip heard rumors about Goran hiding out in some secret settlement north of here. Another Ark in the unexplored territories. He wants a team of stalkers to find this Ark and capture Goran before his vines squeeze the life out of us. This mission we accept, but me and Dux can't do it alone. We need stalkers, the best of the best. Selma, Magnus, Barrow, let's do this.
Alright, and with that we have finally made it back to the Ark, and I think we have reached a good point to make the cut for today. In the next episode, we will then start our search for Goran. That video will very likely not be 34 minutes long though, but for today I think it made some sense to put everything together this way. So, I hope you enjoyed our first episode of the Seed of Evil DLC, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.